Hello, everyone. This is MMA Trusting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Micah White, who will fight on the Fury Challenger Series 14, July 27th. Hello, Micah. How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for taking the invitation. And overall, I think that your next opponent can be a little bit tricky one because he definitely doesn't have a good record, but he got few good wins. He's of course more experienced than you as far as like the pro MMA. So if you can tell me, do you think that he can be a threat in any department for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, every opponent is definitely a threat in their own ways, and with this guy, he's tough. You know, he brings a fight no matter what his record looks like. If you actually watch his fights, he brings it every single time. The kid's tough. He throws with bad intentions. I just think I'm better all the way around, and that'll show next Sunday.
And did you change anything for this training camp and for this opponent?
Not too much. Just focus on some different things, game plan wise. But the usual routine, and still with Main Street and 4 Ounce Fight Club as far as my gyms go. I also go once a week to Team Took for jiu-jitsu, some great jiu-jitsu under Professor Travis Took. And then, I have my strength and conditioning under Logan Ines Trading. So everything is pretty much the same, just firing on all cylinders. Um, and yeah, we're just ready to rock.
And when we spoke last time, you were before your pro debut, and now you've got four pro bouts, three finishes. And about the one fight that you lost, if you can tell me, how did you feel after this? Because overall, it was a really close fight. You've got a lot of good moments in the fight, and to be honest, it was just, let's say, a close fight. You definitely could win it. So how did
Yeah.
you deal with this loss?
Yeah, it was hard, man. I mean, I thought I won the fight. It was such a weird scenario. I had the flu during the fight and felt terrible and in the octagon, I had to make a game time decision of like I just got to find a way to win. Like I'm not feeling the way that I felt all camp. I'm not in a way that I thought I was going to be able to find the finish. So I just need to be able to find a win, and I kind of just did the bare minimum to do my best to pull out a win, which I thought I did. Judges didn't see it that way. It is what it is. But some things help me with that help me with like psychologically. Like sometimes whenever you win, you question like, man, if I would have lost, like which one of these people that are reaching out, congratulating and stuff like that, which ones would be there during the loss, and everybody that I would want to be there, after losing or coming up short was there and then some. So that actually ended up fueling me even more, just taking some of the pressure off going into some of these fights, knowing like at the end of the day, this is all just, sport and passion and, I still have my family and all that different good stuff, win or lose. So it ended up fueling me even more.
But I think that, of course, like winning is better than losing, no question about it. But in the end, it was like a really close fight, so you definitely could win it. And also, it's like if the loss would happen in like maybe 10th pro fight, it will be like worse for you because you would be like super close to be signed to the UFC or on this level, and then you would lose a fight. And when you lose the fight at this stage of your career, I don't think that it will like ruin anything for you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If that was a fight where if I win, I know I'll go to the contender series or get a title shot or something like that, it's a much bigger deal. But it happened early. It changed up some of the plans that we thought we had, but it all happens for a reason. So we're right back on track. Every single one of my wins as a professional is a finish, and I look to keep it that way this Sunday. And yeah, that it all serves its own purpose in its own way.
And also the fight after this you won against Ian Varela, the fighter
Mhm.
that I think that it was one of the best wins of your like amateur and pro career, and you of course submitted him. So also, and it was a late submission. So I
Mhm.
think that it also was important that you are not only about like quick finishes, but you can carry this kind of abilities into the third round, and you got another very good win on your record. So you are definitely in a good like trajectory, let's say.
Yeah, that was like a you know a best case scenario fight for me as far as like you said, sometimes you could get a quick finish and you're in, you're out, and it's great in the moment, but it doesn't really serve you for your career as much. So that fight, man, having a 3 round war, back and forth, winning the whole time, dominating, but he was fighting and not he didn't give up and then still being able to find the finish. I think it just is a replication of my style of, I made a lot of adjustments from being amateur to professional, and I'm just always trying to finish the fight, in one way, shape, or form. And whether it's a third round, I could have easily just held onto his back and, coasted, knowing I won the first 2 rounds and it's an easy win. But, just want to keep hunting the finish, always hunting the finish. And yeah, and I think that served my career well. And that's, the same kind of style that we're going to continue to bring.
And right now, when you are in the training camp, do you what do you do to recover your body? Because probably you are in the training camp for many weeks. So even if you are young, it's probably can be damaging for your body because it's like a lot of like. Pain, let's say.
Absolutely.
So what do you do to recover your body?
Yeah, usually recovery, I just try to rest, man. Like sometimes rest is the number one recovery that you can do. Like if I have 2 hard sessions in a day, or if I have, a hard session in the morning, then I have to coach at night. Like I just try to rest, relax, not do too much extra outside of training that doesn't allow my body to get the recovery it needs. I've also been doing like some ice baths and cold plunges and things like that just to help recover the body. I'll usually get like a massage about a week out from the fight. I actually got one last night and I feel great after that. But yeah, just the basic stuff, nothing too crazy, not a crazy routine, but I try to get a cold plunge in at least, once a week to usually really just reset my body to go for that next week.
And overall, do you prefer to train like let's say morning or before the noon, or more, you are more of the like evening person?
For me, I prefer training in the morning, not like too early, but like 9, 10 a.m. I usually like to train. Um, I do both. I think something about like knocking out a hard training session, then having the rest of the day, feeling like you earned the day, rather than like dreading practice all day long and you do all your different stuff and anything you do, you're like, oh, and I still have to practice later. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys that get off work and then go straight to practice, like. I think that does pay a toll in a certain way. So I would prefer the mornings for sure.
And about coaching people, do you think that it can be like beneficial for you even right now when you coach people and you can take something to your like MMA game as the fighter?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because you hear all the time, like if you can help somebody else or explain a move to somebody, it makes sure that you understand the move yourself. Especially if it's newer people or people that don't understand the move fully. Like you have to break it down in all the little details, and in order to do that, you have to actually know the move yourself. So it kind of keeps my technique sharp, my game sharp, and it's always good being able to relate the information rather than just knowing it and just doing it as an athlete.
But for now, these people are like ordinary people, not like amateur or pro fighters.
Yeah, we have a good range. We have a couple guys that are looking to make their amateur debut this year. But yeah, other than that, it'll just be people that do it either, like for cardio or come in like saying they want to fight but they don't have experience. So you really have to be on your P's and Q's and try to teach them from the ground up, but without the ones who are more experienced leaving them behind and only going over day one stuff. So you have to find the perfect balance to do so.
And because there is about like week to your fight, and after the fight, how many like days do you need to let's say, recover your both body and mind before you will be back in the gym?
Yeah, I mean, typically I love getting right back to the gym. Physically, it all depends on how the fight goes. You know, some fights you get out unscathed clean. Other times you have stitches or bumps and bruises, and obviously it makes it difficult. You have to heal and recover. This fight specifically, I'm going straight from my fight on vacation. I had a vacation plan before taking this fight, and I'm actually missing a day of vacation in order to fight. So my family and stuff is going to already be in Florida while I fight, and then right after I'm booking it 8 hours over with my fiance and my brother. So, um, but typically I like to get in the gym ASAP. You know, that next Monday, or if I'm banged up, whenever. Um, Not only for myself, but to support my teammates too. You know, like we always have fights coming up. There's always different people that are next up in line. So, you know, I don't want to be selfish and only come in the gym when I have a fight. You know what I mean? I want to try to help get other people ready. And even if I can't physically do something like coaching and, you know, just kind of help seeing what's going on, you know, I try to get to the gym as soon as possible.
So in this case, it would be like great reward after the fight. Just go and
It'll be perfect.
yes, yes, like total rest.
Yes, I get to go lay on the beach, have fun with my family, eat all the bad food, everything.
And when you are in the cage and like announcer announcing your names, what do you feel in this moment? Because it's like very like specific moment because you know that in just few seconds there will be a probably really tough battle. So
Yeah.
at that point, what do you have in your head?
You know, that's a great question. A lot of times, man, you're ready to go. Like at that point, all the work, all the hype, all the buildup is done and the work's been put in. So at that point, if you haven't trained and you're not prepared, then you're gonna be friggin' crapping yourself. You know what I mean? You're gonna be scared because like, oh, now everything you've been putting off when you've been shortcutting and training and not doing what you're supposed to do, the reality of it is now, you know, and it's about to show. But when you've been putting in the work, it's like that's the fun part. Like this is the time to actually finally prepare. I've been doing it for 8 weeks, preparing, studying, training, eating, all that different stuff. And so it's like I get to finally just get it over with, do it, have the fun part. This is the reward at the end. You know, this is what I've been training for so long. So at that point, it just kind of fires you up. You know, you hear your name, your crowd starts cheering, and you know you're ready to go.
So it's good that after this kind of thing there is a fight because sometimes there is like a quick no contest because of some cut or like groin strike something like this, and I think that it can be like super bad feeling because you were like you said preparing for so many weeks and there is actually no result. You still have this kind of energy that you would like to use in this kind of way, and then there is like a crazy result.
Exactly, exactly. No, for sure. That's why whenever that the bell rings and you start fighting, like that's what you prepare for the whole time. So that ends up being the true reward of it.
And are you like a fan of trash talking in MMA?
Definitely a fan of it. I love it. It cracks me up. There's some people that are very witty, and it just hypes up the fight. For me personally, I'm not a huge trash talker as far as like faking it, if that makes sense. Like I'm not a huge trash talker just to make it seem like we have beef. But if I actually don't like somebody, I'll make it very clear. You know what I mean? Like so I'm definitely not opposed to trash talking. I think it's not as much trash talking whenever you don't like somebody as much as just calling it how it is. And yeah, you can make it sound silly or make fun of them, but as far as like just talking trash just to talk trash, it's entertaining, but for me personally, I think it's just kind of pointless. um, but yeah, if I'm not a fan of somebody, I'll make sure to make it known.
But definitely in it has to be like genuine because
Yes.
or maybe if you are like Chael Sonnen it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be, but except him is probably there are not many good trash talkers who are not genuine. It's like you can see, you
Yeah.
can feel that it's like fake.
Yeah, and for sure, and for guys like Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor, like that's what made them their money, and that's what kind of got them their name. So there is a balance to it. That's why obviously you could be a little extra with it if you feel a certain way, but you can tell when someone is just trying to force it and it's not genuine, and it just makes it worse.
And if you could be like a matchmaker in the UFC for one day or just one fight,
Mm.
which fight with the current fighters from the UFC you would like to book?
It's a good question. I think there's two. I think it's the main two that everyone's typing up right now. I think it's John Jones and Tom Aspinall, and then Topuria versus Makhachev for the 170 title. I think those are two gigantic fights. There's no getting around the height of those fights. They're both huge in their own ways. Um, to me, honestly, the bigger fight would be the Makhachev Topuria at 170 because that's the first ever potential for three belts for Ilya Topuria. Um, the thing with John Jones and Tom Aspinall, man, that I can't really get behind as much is when people say John Jones is scared and all this different stuff. Like John Jones fought the best of the best, and any one of those guys, if he didn't fight them, it would have been the same narrative. I think now he's just in a position where he genuinely doesn't have to fight anymore. And certain, and like he said, he goes out, beats Tom Aspinall. Then there's gonna be the next guy, like freaking Derek Lewis, the man from H Town. Like he's knocking everybody out. He would knock out John Jones. He's not a true heavyweight. Like there's always a narrative on how someone will beat the next guy. But that's a Poirier Makhachev. I think that would be an insane fight with insane build up.
Yes, yes, I would definitely agree. And about because I'm not sure if John Jones will be back, to be honest. But about Derrick Lewis, I think that he's right now in a really good position to be in the like really at least in the discussion about fighting for the title. Because let's be honest, heavyweight division is not really deep. There are not many contenders. So I think that if he gets one fight, he will knock another fighter out. I think that he definitely
Yeah.
can fight against like Tom.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing with the heavyweight divisions. Like, who's gonna complain and say no, he doesn't deserve it? Like, he has the most knockouts. Everyone has won and lost and beat each other in that division. So it's just who's next up. And so, but I think Derek Lewis can knock out anybody. So I mean, he always got a puncher's chance. So
And getting back to your career, because I think that overall you are in a quite good position because you've got a good record, of course, very good skills. You had a long amateur career, and when you are thinking about your like near future, do you think that it would be possible for you to get a UFC contract in about like 2 years?
yeah, for sure. I think that's the exact time frame that I'm kind of thinking. I think within the next year or two, if everything, God willing, goes well, it'll be set up, for contender series, potentially short notice. There's a lot of different ways to get in the UFC now, like you don't have to have the title in your regional promotion or whatever to go to the UFC. There's a lot of different opportunities. Um, so I can definitely see if things go well, I want another fight this year. So if I win this one 4-1, get one more this year, that'd be 5-1 to end the year off. You win two or three more, you're right there for contender series, 7, 8-1. Like that's a great record, especially if I keep racking up these finishes. So just taking it one thing at a time. But again, if God willing, if I keep on the route that I'm on, the trajectory is for sure the next year or two to make that next step to the next level.
And I would definitely agree because especially that you have this kind of crazy amateur career and 8-1 record. So if you get something like this, like 7-1 or 8-1 in pro MMA, I think that you definitely would deserve this shot. Maybe like contender series, maybe some short notice fight, and also about like taking a short notice fight. How quickly can you make a weight limit?
Oh, for the UFC, I'll make it tonight if we got to do it. Because the thing, man, that people like don't get with short notice is that's it. Like that's your ticket. You're in. You can go make weight. fight, get knocked out in 30 seconds, and you're in. You're in the UFC. Like you're guaranteed another fight where you have a camp and all that different stuff. So, you know, it just depends on your goals and stuff, obviously. It's not like you're going there to lose, but the UFC they appreciate when people do them favors. Like if you step up, short notice, save the card, kind of help out with them, they'll make sure to help you out too. So, I think I would love a short notice call up, and I keep my weight pretty low naturally, so it wouldn't be a problem to make that to answer that call.
So the first step for this kind of opportunity would be in a few days to take another good fighter on Fury, and when you get like another finish, I think that it will work out for you in even a near future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they needed somebody in Louisiana tonight under Dustin Poirier's card, call me. I'm there. I live like 4 hours away. I'll be there by 5, 6 o'clock. Tape up. Let's fight. But no, I think it's just the principle of staying ready. You know what I mean? Like I'm always training. Obviously, whenever you don't fight coming up, your weight's higher, and you're kind of focused on different things. Maybe your cardio isn't as on point, obviously, than when you're in camp. But it's just being ready whenever opportunity calls. That's it. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Okay, Micah. So many thanks for the time and for conversation. I hope that it will be another good finish for you, and then you will take one more fight this year.
Yes, sir. Go get this finished next Sunday, the 27th. Go on vacation, enjoy my time with my family, support some of my teammates that have fights in August and September, and then hopefully be back, like around October, November, and close out the year with another win.